Now, according to Business Tech annual statistics for top leadership placements in South Africa, has for the second year in a row shown a sustained increase in race and gender transformation.
Yeah, and even though the gap has been bridged, South Africa still faces huge inequality and transformation in workspace. So Simo-Sihle Mvinjelwa, the founder of Esihle Solutions, has made it a point for his company to help bridge the gap and help companies really transform and become more inclusive, whilst equipping those who have otherwise not been able to enter the job market. Welcome, Simo.
Thank you, ladies, for having me.
Yeah, it's quite a mammoth task that you have on your hands, I think, because there's so many people who speak about it and offer ideas on how we can transform the corporate space faster in South Africa, but the actual work of getting it done must be quite a mission.
And definitely, I think it takes everybody to contribute towards it. So as much as Esihle is playing a role, there are many other companies that are playing within that space. And I think it's that's going to make South Africa a transformed country.
Yeah. Don't you think it's more of a mental task? You kind of have to get people to agree mentally and be in the mental space to be more inclusive, and then put strategies in place to include people.
No, definitely. And I think transformation in its core starts with the heart. So you've got to resonate with people's hearts and then move on to people's minds, and then you can actually get them to start getting the groundwork, which is the hand. So we do approach transformation as a heart, as a head, and as a hands kind of thing. And ultimately, because you want people to agree to be inclusive, which is a very difficult thing to do, you've got to touch it where it hits the most, which is the heart.
Let's talk numbers and statistics. Where are we at in South Africa?
So in South Africa, we can throw the numbers up and down the air, all we want, but we know the reality is that we're struggling from a top management point of view. We're struggling from a senior management point of view. I mean, if you look at just the top companies on the JSE, one or two, in fact, it was just recently announced, one of the first ladies, again after Maria Ramos, would be one of the CEOs. So it's quite a grim picture. But I guess, when you start seeing that movement, those ladies have a duty now to pay it forward and to start making the right noises within their organizations to actually transform the spaces.
What are some of your success stories in terms of companies that you've helped to just approach this diversity issue?
So there's quite a number, and not to dwell too much in terms of the brands, etc. So we've got quite a few key brands that we're working with, like your Taylor Shores, who's really on a progressive strategy to transform. We're working with a nice and beautiful logistics company within South Africa that actually, in terms of what we do, Bongani Rainmaker, they tie in because they do the technology within the schools, which is very core to what we're doing. So the partnerships that we have within even our clients is very critical for us as well. So we try and also be specific in terms of who do we partner for, because you don't want to go into a space where, it's not fertile ground, etc. You want to partner with people who actually want to do meaningful transformation.
Absolutely.
And what role can transformation play towards an organization?
I think from a just a sharing of ideas, because we can only know what we know. So having different views, having different inputs around the table promotes innovation, promotes people to be themselves. And what better way to have a successful company that it impacts to your bottom line in terms of just your customers that you could be tapping into that you wouldn't necessarily tap into if we all sat here and we agreed, in a certain way and thought in a certain way and believed in certain things.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for joining us today. I think you're doing amazing work.
Oh, thank you very much.